Right now, at this very moment, your legs are sending you a warning signal that most people ignore until it's too late. Maybe you've noticed it takes just a little longer to get up from your favorite chair. Maybe climbing those stairs to your bedroom feels heavier than it used to. Maybe you've caught yourself grabbing onto furniture more often when you walk through your home. You might think it's just normal aging, something you just have to accept. But here's what doctors know that they don't always tell you straight out. When your legs start weakening, it's not just about your legs. It's the very first domino to fall in a chain reaction that can steal your independence, your confidence, and the life you deserve to keep living fully. Your legs are literally the foundation of your freedom, and when that foundation starts cracking, everything else becomes harder. The good news, you can actually strengthen them naturally, starting with what you put on your plate today. I'm going to show you exactly which 6 foods can make the difference between staying strong and active or slowly losing the ability to do the things you love. But first, if you're over 50 and you want to protect your mobility and independence, hit that like button right now and drop a comment telling me your age so we can build a community of people who refuse to accept weakness as inevitable. Let's dive in. Here's something that's going to surprise you. Your legs don't weaken randomly. They weaken first for a very specific reason that most people have never heard about. Think of your body like a tall building. The strongest, most important support structure is always at the bottom, right? That's your legs. They carry the weight of your entire body every single day. Every step you take, every time you stand up, every time you climb stairs, your leg muscles are working harder than almost any other muscles in your body. Now here's what happens as we age. After about age 30, if you're not actively working to prevent it, you start losing muscle mass. Doctors call this sarcopenia, but what that really means is your muscles are literally shrinking away. And the muscles that work the hardest, the ones under the most constant stress, those are the first ones your body starts letting go of. Your legs. Research has found that people can lose anywhere from 3 to 8% of their muscle mass every single decade after 30. By the time you hit 50, 60, 70, that loss accelerates even faster. I've talked to women who told me they noticed their legs just didn't feel solid anymore. One woman described it as feeling like her legs were made of jelly instead of muscle. Another man shared how he used to walk 3 miles every morning without thinking about it, but by age 68, he could barely make it around the block before his legs felt so tired and weak he had to sit down. This isn't just about feeling weak. When your legs lose strength, your balance goes with it. Falls become more likely, fractures happen more easily. And here's the devastating part that nobody talks about. Once you fall and break something, especially a hip, your entire life can change in an instant. Medical research shows that older adults who break a hip have a significantly increased risk of losing their independence permanently. Many end up in assisted living facilities within months. I'm not sharing this to scare you. I'm sharing it because you deserve to know the truth about what's happening in your body so you can do something about it right now while you still have time to make a difference. But here's what makes this especially important for people over 50. The muscle loss that's happening in your legs isn't just about getting older. A huge part of it comes down to something you have complete control over. Nutrition. What you eat every single day is either feeding your muscles and keeping them strong, or it's leaving them starving for the nutrients they desperately need to maintain their strength. And this is where things get really interesting because the 6 foods I'm about to share with you work in ways that most people never learned about. These aren't just good foods, these are foods that specifically target the exact problems causing your legs to weaken. They work with your body's natural processes to rebuild muscle, strengthen bones, improve nerve function, and give your legs the power they need to keep you independent and active for years to come. So stay with me here because what's coming next ties everything together. Now we're going to count down from number 6 to number 1, and I promise you each one gets more powerful than the last. But as helpful as each food is, there's one at the end that does something so foundational, so critical, that without it, all the others won't work nearly as well. So make sure you stick around because number 1 might shock you. Coming in at number 6, we have salmon. Now you might be thinking, okay, I've heard fish is healthy, But let me explain what salmon does specifically for your weak legs that makes it so powerful. Salmon is absolutely packed with something called omega-3 fatty acids. Think of these like oil for a squeaky door. When your muscles and joints are inflamed, everything hurts, everything feels stiff, and moving becomes harder. Omega-3 fatty acids are nature's anti-inflammatory medicine. They go into your muscles and joints and they calm down that inflammation, making movement easier and less painful. But here's what most people don't realize. Salmon also contains high-quality protein, and not just any protein. It's complete protein, meaning it has all the essential amino acids your muscles need to repair and rebuild themselves. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at using protein, so we actually need more of it, not less. One woman I heard about started eating salmon 3 times a week after years of struggling with leg weakness and knee pain. She told her friend that within about 6 weeks she noticed she could walk up her driveway without that burning, tired feeling in her thighs. That's omega-3s and protein working together. You don't need fancy supplements. Just 3 to 4 ounces of salmon 2 or 3 times per week gives your legs powerful ammunition against inflammation and muscle loss. Now we're at number 5, and this one is eggs. I know eggs seem so simple, so ordinary, but eggs are actually one of the most perfect foods on the planet for rebuilding leg strength. Here's why. Each egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein packed into a tiny package. But it's not just the amount of protein, it's the type. Eggs contain an amino acid called leucine, and leucine is like the foreman on a construction site. It signals your body to start building muscle. Think of it as flipping the switch from muscle breakdown mode to muscle building mode. Medical research has found that older adults who consume adequate leucine with their meals experience significantly better muscle protein synthesis. What that really means is their bodies actually build and maintain muscle better. Now here's something fascinating. The egg yolk, the part many people throw away because they're worried about cholesterol, that's where some of the most important nutrients live. Vitamin D, vitamin B12, healthy fats that help your body absorb those vitamins. Vitamin D is absolutely critical for muscle function. Studies have found that seniors with low vitamin D levels have weaker leg muscles and are more likely to fall. One study showed that older adults with adequate vitamin D had significantly better physical performance and stronger legs than those who were deficient. So when you eat eggs, eat the whole egg, scrambled, boiled, poached, however you like them. 2 eggs at breakfast gives you about 12 grams of protein, plus all those muscle-supporting vitamins. I've talked to people who started their day with 2 eggs and noticed within a month that getting up from chairs felt easier, like their legs had more spring in them again. Number 4 is Greek yogurt. Now we're getting into something really special. Greek yogurt is different from regular yogurt because it's strained, which removes a lot of the liquid and concentrates the protein. 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt can have anywhere from 15 to 20 grams of protein. That's as much as a small chicken breast. But Greek yogurt does something else that's critical for leg strength. It's rich in calcium. Your bones are the frame that your muscles pull against. If your bones are weak and brittle, your muscles can't generate the force they need. Calcium keeps your bones dense and strong. But here's where it gets interesting. Calcium needs a partner to work properly. Vitamin D. That's why many Greek yogurts are fortified with vitamin D. Together, calcium and vitamin D create this powerful duo that supports both bone density and muscle function. Now here's a real-life example. A woman in her mid-60s had been dealing with what she described as weak, shaky legs for over 2 years. Her doctor checked her calcium and vitamin D levels and found both were low. She started eating Greek yogurt every morning with some berries mixed in, and within about 3 months she told her daughter that her legs felt steadier. She wasn't wobbling when she walked anymore. That steady feeling came from her bones getting the support they needed, which allowed her muscles to work more effectively. Aim for 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt daily. Add some fruit for flavour and a drizzle of honey if you want a little sweetness. Your bones and muscles will thank you. Now we're at number 3, and this is where things get really interesting. Spinach and leafy greens. I know you might be thinking, vegetables? How is that going to strengthen my legs? But stay with me because this connects to your situation in a way most people don't realise. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, collard greens and Swiss chard are absolutely loaded with magnesium. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, but here's what matters for your legs. Magnesium helps your muscles contract and relax properly. When you're low on magnesium, your muscles cramp up, they feel tight, they don't respond the way they should. You know that Charlie horse cramp you get in your calf in the middle of the night that makes you jump out of bed? That's often low magnesium, but beyond preventing cramps, magnesium plays a critical role in protein synthesis and muscle recovery. Research has shown that dietary magnesium may actually slow down the age-related loss of muscle mass. One study found that older adults who consume more magnesium-rich foods had better muscle mass and strength compared to those who didn't. But here's the other powerful thing about leafy greens. They're packed with nitrates, natural compounds that improve blood flow. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients getting delivered to your leg muscles when you move. One older gentleman shared how he started eating a big spinach salad every day for lunch. He said within about 5 weeks he noticed his legs didn't feel as heavy when he walked. That heavy leaden feeling in his legs had been his daily reality for years. The improved blood flow and magnesium were feeding his muscles what they'd been starving for. Aim for at least 2 cups of leafy greens daily, raw in salads, cooked into omelettes, blended into smoothies, however you can get them down. Number 2. We're almost at the most important one, but number 2 is absolutely critical. Beans and lentils. These humble foods are absolutely powerhouse sources of plant-based protein, fibre, iron and B vitamins. Let's talk about why each of these matters for your legs. First, protein. We've talked about how important protein is for maintaining and building muscle. Beans and lentils provide substantial protein. 1 cup of cooked lentils has about 18 grams of protein. 1 cup of black beans has about 15 grams. If you're not a big meat eater or if meat is getting expensive, beans and lentils are your affordable muscle-building best friends. But here's what makes them especially powerful. They're rich in iron. Iron is essential for carrying oxygen in your blood. Your muscles need oxygen to function. When you're iron deficient, which is surprisingly common in older adults, you feel weak, tired, and your muscles can't generate the energy they need. Women, especially after menopause, and men over 65 can develop iron deficiency from poor absorption or inadequate diet. I've talked to women who described feeling exhausted all the time. Their legs felt like lead weights, and it turned out they were anemic. Once they started eating more iron-rich foods like beans and lentils, combined with vitamin C to help absorption, within a couple months their energy came back and their legs felt stronger. The B vitamins in beans and lentils are also crucial. Vitamin B12, which is harder to absorb as we age, supports healthy nerve function. Your leg muscles are controlled by nerves. If those nerves aren't functioning properly because of B vitamin deficiency, your muscles can become weak and uncoordinated even if the muscles themselves are technically fine. It's like having a strong engine but faulty wiring. Everything needs to work together. Try to eat beans or lentils at least 3 to 4 times per week. Add them to soups, make them into dips like hummus, toss them into salads, use them as a side dish. Your legs will feel the difference. But as helpful as beans and lentils are, there's one more food you absolutely need to know about, and this is the foundation that makes everything else work. This is it. This is the big one. Number 1, the most important food for strengthening weak legs after 50. And this might shock you because it's not exotic, it's not expensive, and you've probably been told to avoid it for years. Number 1 is whole eggs with the yolk. I mentioned eggs at number 5, but I'm bringing them back as number 1 because they deserve that spot. Here's why eggs are so foundational. They contain the highest quality protein of any food on the planet. The protein in eggs is the gold standard that all other proteins are measured against. Your body can use nearly 100% of the protein from eggs to build and repair muscle tissue. No waste, no inefficiency. For older adults whose bodies are already less efficient at using protein, this matters enormously. But here's where eggs become even more powerful. They contain vitamin D, which, as we've discussed, is absolutely essential for muscle function. They contain choline, a nutrient most people have never heard of, that supports nerve function and muscle control. They contain B vitamins, including B12, that keep your nerves healthy. They contain healthy fats that help your body absorb all those fat-soluble vitamins. And they contain that critical amino acid leucine that triggers muscle protein synthesis. Eggs are like a complete package, a multivitamin and protein supplement, all wrapped up in nature's perfect container. Studies have shown that older adults who consume eggs regularly maintain better muscle mass and strength compared to those who don't. One study found that when older adults ate whole eggs after resistance exercise, they built significantly more muscle than when they ate just egg whites. The nutrients in the yolk were essential for maximizing muscle growth. Now here's a real story that brings this all together. A man in his early 70s had been struggling with leg weakness for about 3 years. He'd stopped walking his dog because his legs just couldn't handle it anymore. He felt ashamed, frustrated, defeated. His daughter convinced him to change his diet. He started eating 2 whole eggs every single morning for breakfast. He added Greek yogurt as a snack. He ate salmon twice a week. He had spinach salads for lunch and added beans to his dinners. He didn't change anything else, didn't start exercising more, didn't take expensive supplements, just changed what he ate. After about 8 weeks, he noticed he could walk a little farther without his legs giving out. After 4 months, he was walking his dog again, not as far as before, but he was doing it. After 6 months, his legs felt stronger than they had in years. That's the power of feeding your muscles what they actually need. Here's the fix, the simple action plan you can start right now today. Don't try to do everything at once. That's overwhelming and you'll give up. Start with breakfast. Tomorrow morning, make yourself 2 whole eggs, however you like them. Eat them with a piece of whole grain toast if you want. That's step 1. Once that becomes a habit, add Greek yogurt as your afternoon snack. Once that's comfortable, start adding leafy greens to 1 meal every day. Then add beans or lentils to your dinners a few times a week. Then work in salmon 2 or 3 times weekly. Build slowly, layer by layer, until all 6 of these foods are regular parts of your diet. Now I know what you're thinking. What about cholesterol? Aren't eggs bad for my heart? Here's the truth. For most people, dietary cholesterol from eggs does not significantly raise blood cholesterol levels. Your liver produces most of your cholesterol naturally, and when you eat cholesterol, your liver just makes less. The benefits of eating whole eggs, especially for muscle strength and leg function, far outweigh any theoretical cholesterol concerns for most people. Of course, if you have specific medical conditions, talk to your doctor. But for the vast majority of people over 50, eggs are one of the healthiest, most muscle-building foods you can eat. Here's what you need to understand. Rebuilding leg strength through nutrition isn't going to happen overnight. This isn't a magic pill. You won't eat salmon on Monday and wake up Tuesday with legs like a 20-year-old. Your body needs time. Muscle rebuilding is a slow process, especially as we age. You're looking at a timeline of about 3 to 6 months to notice really significant changes. Some people feel subtle improvements within 4 to 6 weeks, like stairs feeling a little easier or being able to walk a little farther without fatigue. But the real noticeable "wow, my legs feel strong again" changes typically take 3 to 6 months of consistent nutrition plus some regular movement. You've got to be patient, you've got to trust the process. Your body wants to be strong, it wants to maintain muscle. You just have to give it the raw materials it needs to do that. And here's the empowering part. You have complete control over this. Nobody can force you to eat better, and nobody can stop you from eating better. This is your decision, your power, your path back to strength. Every single time you choose one of these 6 foods, you're making an investment in your legs, your mobility, your independence, your future. Every egg you eat is building muscle. Every serving of salmon is reducing inflammation. Every cup of Greek yogurt is strengthening your bones. Every handful of spinach is improving blood flow to your muscles. Every serving of beans is providing the iron and B vitamins your nerves need. All of it adds up, all of it matters. You deserve to feel strong and capable at every age. You deserve to walk confidently without fear of falling. You deserve to play with your grandchildren, to travel, to live fully without your legs holding you back. Don't let anyone tell you that weakness is just something you have to accept. It's not. You can do something about it starting right now with what you put on your plate. So here's what I want you to do. If you found this information valuable, hit that like button so other people can find this video and get this information that could change their lives. Drop a comment below and tell me your age and where you're watching from. Let's build a community of people who refuse to accept weakness as inevitable. Share this video with anyone in your life who's struggling with leg weakness or balance problems. They need to hear this, and subscribe to this channel because I'm going to keep bringing you science-backed, practical information about staying strong, healthy and independent as you age. Your best years don't have to be behind you. With the right nutrition, the right knowledge and the right mindset, you can keep living fully, actively and joyfully for decades to come. Your legs carried you this far. Now it's time to give them the fuel they need to carry you even farther. Start today. Your future self will thank you.